Hey, how you doing? This is
Okay.
John, and welcome to John's Long Box. It's Clobbering time, and that means we got the extreme artist Marcus Kellegrew with us
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, I don't feel so extreme anymore. I'm tired
Oh
and
yeah,
old. I'm too old and tired.
it's hard to stay up this late. I know. I just
It's all right. I understand. I'm not complaining about that. I'd be tired at 7 o'clock. It doesn't matter.
that's why I'm drinking coffee at midnight. Jeez,
Yeah, me too. Right here it is. Drinking coffee at midnight, and then you're done with the show, and you're dead tired. You can't sleep because
without
you drank so much coffee.
I could literally go to sleep after drinking a pot of coffee.
I used to be like that. I don't know if that's true anymore. You know. If you want to see what I'm erasing, I still have to tighten this up. I can show you guys while we wait for people to come in.
Sure.
It's not too exciting, but it's page 6 of Mythic Americas
Oh,
of
cool.
Toklo Emergent or Toklo Emergent. I don't know.
It's a taco emergency.
Toklo. His name is Toklo, Toklo.
Okay.
So it's an Inuit thing because I'm the only one who's allowed to do indigenous heroes, even though I'm a white guy. And they're being surrounded by polar bears, and there's stuff like that.
That looks very Jack Kirby to me.
Oh, okay. Well, as long as they don't mind it.
Well, that's not an insult to me.
Oh no, I appreciate that. Well, I just have to say, I gotta now after we erase this stuff, I have to go over it and tighten up the blacks and make sure the whiteout is all good, But that's for tomorrow.
So we got our blessing from Zach Dan, so we can proceed, and we also got Tony. How you doing, Tony?
Hey guys,
How's everything?
that's a beautiful piece of art, Marcus. Really nice.
You. Yeah, I like drawing. I'm good at drawing animals, by the way, and I don't mind it. They say, "Oh, draw a horse." So last couple of weeks ago, when I was in the studio, I felt like drawing a horse. I drew a horse. I don't care. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty comfortable drawing animals.
Oh, really? You're the guy who doesn't mind drawing horses?
I don't care. I don't care what I draw. Pretty much. I mean, there's some things more exciting than others, but
because I had a guy reject the story. He's like, "No, I don't want to do a western." I mean, he's doing something else instead, but he's like, "I don't want to do western. I don't want to draw horses."
We had Tom Tuttle on. He has that Western vampire story book that he did with Christian Rossi, and I said, "Gee, I feel like drawing a horse," so I drew, got the character on the horse. It came out all right. I mean, it's just a little work. It's not that big a deal.
I'll take people's word for it. I don't know. It looks like it would be difficult to draw. So
no, they're not hard. The animals are not that easy to draw. I don't mind doing it. They are harder to draw.
So for those of you who don't know, Heroic Tales 2 is on that table. I've been bagging and boarding, and the first batch of comics is going out in the morning. Right after this, I'm going to release the digital files. I said I was going to do it at midnight, but I forgot that I'm doing clobbering time. So as soon as clobbering time is over, I'm gonna release the digital files. So if you order digitally, check your spam filters or whatever. You'll get it. Here's issue 1. Well, this is issue 1. This is issue 2. I can't do it backwards. This is issue 1. This is issue 2. They're here. They're going out. They're actually happening. And I got a couple of sales today. I guess people are just like, okay, the comic really does exist. I don't blame people for waiting. I pretty much ordered double, so I have a lot, except for the cosplay cover. I only ordered 50. So, and that's all that's ever gonna. I'm not gonna do one of these, put it on eBay. On another print. There's 50 of them. So when 50 of them go, I'm keeping one. Martina's getting one. Crenshaw's getting one. So that's 47 left for the rest of the planet for the cosplay covers. Oh, and I told Marcus something. Okay. I said, be quiet about it, but now I'm going to tell because I can't keep secrets. So I told Chuck Dixon I was going to send him a copy of number 2. I said, I'll mail you a copy on 1. And he replied back, hey, thank you, John. That's nice. And I said, hey, Chuck, if you would be so kind, I'm having trouble with the script. Would you mind looking at it? And he said, sure. So Chuck Dixon's looking over one of my scripts tonight. So how cool is that?
That's cool. Very nice.
He's such a good guy.
Yeah, he seems like a nice guy.
Tomorrow I'm going to get an email. Forget it, kid.
Nah, he won't say that. He likes you already, so it doesn't matter.
You know, six people have read this script so far, and six people said the same exact thing. And I knew before that's why I sent it out to people. It's info dump the comic.
Sometimes the stories go like that, right? And then you have to ask your artist, can you make this not info dump? Make it so exciting that it doesn't matter whether it's info dumped or not.
When I thought up this is a grand Jack Kirby explaining the Cosmos type of comic, time travel and space, and the name of the story is called Let's Save the Dinosaurs. So it goes back from prehistory to the future and all points in between and stuff like that. I knew it was going to be an info dump, but is it an acceptable info dump? Because you know what's an info dump? I just read Commandy #1. That's info dump the comic.
Oh, from the original one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and a lot of those comics are, but it depends how exciting the info dump looks.
Right. That's
a way to do it. I mean,
so like if you read like 2001, the Jack Kirby series, it's every issue is just an info dump. There's almost no story in the comics. But then again, that comic got canceled at 10 issues. So, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
if I know you, but now that YouTube is putting the last names, we got the first name, then we got the @ and then we got the last name. Now that YouTube is putting the last names again, would you mind like typing your first? If I don't, because Good Boom, this looks like a new person. So if you're a new person, hello. If you're somebody that I know well and I just don't know because this portion of your name is up, I apologize. Oh, new person. Thank you, Good Boom. Thank you. Good to see you. Oh, and Tony, I go to you today. I got a package from Bueno, Chile. I ordered a package, and the jarred stuff came today, and then the frozen stuff is coming tomorrow. So I got a big jar of red chili sauce, a big jar of green chili sauce, and then chili honey. I've never had it before. Do you know anything about this?
Really good. I had it myself in the past. Very good.
Yeah, big jar of spicy chili honey. I can't wait to. What would be it? What should I use it with? Like sopapillas or something?
Sopapillas. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's very good.
Sopapillas, for anybody who doesn't know, they're basically like a bread pillow. It's the only way to describe it. You make this flour, and then you put them in the oven, and the heat just expands them, and they're just fluffy. And you could go to some restaurants, and they cut them, they fill them with meat and chili and everything like that. And it's almost like a Mexican chili pastry. Sometimes they just fill them with like cheese, or my favorite is they just put honey inside of them, and it's a dessert, and you sprinkle like confectioner sugar on top of it.
Yeah, so, they also call them empanadas.
Yes, empanadas is, I guess, a meat one. But I always thought empanadas was like a different, because empanadas have like a pie pastry, and the sopapilla is almost like I don't know, it's like more fluffy.
Very good. But that's good, man. It sounds like you're going to be eating good. All right.
This time of year, I crave all that hot New Mexico stuff. New Mexico stuff. It's not the same as Mexico stuff.
Exactly.
There's Mexican food, there's New Mexican food, and then what we in New York are mostly familiar with is Tex-Mex, and we just call it.
That's right.
But
have you had menudo?
Hold on, I got to go get the cat. I'll be back in a second.
I'm sorry, Tony?
I said, have you had menudo? Bit of menudo with some red chili in it. Oh, that's so good on a cold winter's day, man.
Yeah, menudo is it's like baby corn.
No, that's it's intestines.
Oh, okay. What am I thinking of?
I don't know.
It's like corn, but like tender corn. I had it in New Mexico. But menudo, a tripe. I had tripe in New Mexico. Yeah. But Tony could back me up. In New Mexico, Albuquerque, Santa Fe, and lower, there's New Mexican cuisine that I've never had anywhere else in the world, guys. Like when I say red chili sauce, I've only had it in New Mexico. Outside of New Mexico, they think of salsa, but it's not salsa. It's red chili sauce. Sometimes in New York, we call it enchilada sauce, but it's not quite the same. But when you go up to like Taos, in northern New Mexico, there's a whole nother little cuisine that that is, and people tell me that that's like authentic to old Aztec Mexican food, pre Spanish,
Yeah.
So does that mean after you eat it, you have to have a sacrifice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did a story about Aztecs.
But I've never,
Have you seen that ridiculous Aztec Batman movie?
I saw the cartoon. I saw the thing of that. Yeah, that's funny.
I heard about it. It's ridiculous. I heard
Yeah.
about it. But when I lived in Albuquerque, my parents came to visit, and we went to that Chimeo, that little temple. That it was.
Yeah. That's we do. I used to do with my family the walk, like the 5 mile walk on Easter. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That thing could wear you out, man. Haven't been to Chile in a while. Mm-hmm.
If anybody saw Breaking Bad, do you remember those two killers? They crawled to a church. They don't do that, but there is a walk all the way to Chimeo on the east. And for those of you who don't know, Chimeo is they call it the Lords of the United States. It's a place where people get healed.
Mm-hmm.
So you go in it's this tiny little cute little church. It must be like built in the 1600s or something. And in the back there's a dirt floor, and there's just a little hole, and the priest, takes out the dirt and sprinkles it on the person, and there's all like crutches and everything hanging up for people that we healed. Now my niece was diagnosed autistic, so when my parents drove across the country, my sister and her two daughters, my two nieces, came, and my mother was like, "We're gonna get Allison blessed and get rid of her autism," and she was a weird kid, autistic weird kid, and when we took her to there, she ran. Like that was her thing. When she saw something, she ran. So when we went to the Empire, when we went to the Grand Canyon, she saw it and she ran. And my father froze. Everybody, and I took off because I had to literally tackle her. Because you know what I mean? The security, the tour guide, everybody froze because she took off like a bullet. I'm not particularly fast, but I could have outran a 3-year-old. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when we went to Chimeo, she did the same thing. She bolted and she ran and she tripped, and her head went into that hole, and it was like Pigpen from Charlie Brown. A big cloud of dirt went in the air, and the priest laughed. The onlookers, everybody started cracking. And then she picked her head up, and she looked like she was in blackface. She just had a circle of dirt around her face, and the priest said, "She's cured." And you know what? She's not autistic anymore. Like. Doctors were saying within like 2 years, she was misdiagnosed. So my mother made me go up because she visited once. I stayed in Albuquerque for 7 years. So every year I had to go up around Easter and get dirt.
The dirt, yeah.
My mother.
Well, that's a nice story. Yeah, I'm glad that. Yeah, I mean, miracles do happen.
Oh, and here's the best part of the story. Outside of Chimeo, there was a little quesadilla cart, a little Mexican woman, and she had a cart, and she had like a propane tank, and she was cooking, and she had these tortillas that were huge, and she just sprinkled cheese on it. She flopped it over, and she flopped it over again, and she gives you this wax paper, this big greasy quesadilla. It was the best quesadilla I've ever had in my life. So you get cured, and you'll have the best quesadilla you'll ever have in your life.
That's the best part of the story is the quesadilla, though. I like that.
Navajo taco. Those are pretty good. Yes, those are really good.
Yeah, the fried bread. Yeah, I miss the food in Albuquerque. I keep telling my wife.
We got the best, man. Yeah, good food.
Yeah, and like I said, everybody, it's not Mexican food. It's New Mexican food. And I remember when I went there, I was just like, "Shut up, all you people with your green chili and your red." And 7 years later, to the point I'm having it shipped from New Mexico to my house. So tomorrow I'm going to get the perishables. I'm going to get I think a container of green chili stew, chili rellenos, and a ristra of red chili peppers.
Nice.
And my wife, she follows this. There's a New Mexican Corbosa sub. I'll show it. I'll take a picture of it and I'll show it to you. You're not on Twitter, Tony, are you?
Haven't been in a long time. Not since things got too toxic over there. But I should go back on it now. Is it as bad as it was before?
It's yeah, but I never used to block people. Now I
Mhm.
block people liberally, and it's like you want to say you won the fight, go ahead. I just don't want to deal with all of the nonsense anymore. Because one thing I don't like is when I post this is my comic, and then somebody says something, that they were told to say. I'm like,
Mhm.
this is me trying to advertise my product, and now you know what I mean. So I'll delete that post, block that person, delete that post, and post it again. You know what I mean? I'm trying to advertise my comic book. But anyway, Comida Sabrosa is the name of this book. It's a New Mexico cookbook.
Mhm.
When I was leaving, one of my ex-girlfriends bought it for me and said, this, because she knows how much I like the food. So I bought like 2 copies of this book, and my wife followed that recipe to make red chili sauce. And
Mhm.
she was like, no, I'm doing it because you're going to make a mess. So and it took her all weekend because you had to take them off. You had to roast them. You had to, let them cool down. Then you had to like soak them to get the skins off. Then you
Mhm.
had to puree them and then cook them. And it was the best red chili sauce I ever had in my life. It was so good. But she says it was a lot of work. I didn't do it. I was going to do it. But ever since she made that, if she said she could cook it, she could cook it. She's good like that. And let's see, we got a super chat, RRTNZ, all the way from New Zealand. 5 New Zealand dollars. You don't have to throw money. I'll always read your posts. So I mean, don't feel obligated. I'm the only YouTube channel in the world that actively is like tell people you don't have to super chat. Easily the top 3 patriotic superheroes are Guardian, Alpha Flight, Captain Britain, the 1982 design, Captain America, all the timeless character designs, and that means a lot considering he's not even from this continent. So we'll get to that. We're just talking until people show up. Anything you guys want to say? Anything?
I finished roasting some jalapenos in the grill in the backyard, so I'm gonna make some rather jalapenos and green chili. So I'm gonna put those in little Ziploc bags and sort of put them in the freezer for you know for later. You know.
I used to take the green chili peppers and cook them up, get them so, and then slice them down the middle, and then like stuff them with cheese or chicken or whatever. And the hard part was battering them. I would make my own chili rellenos and then batter them and then fry them again. But I could never quite get the batter to stick to the chili pepper. Like I tried different recipes for batter. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So now I just order these chili rellenos from New Mexico. But I want to make them fresh. But jalapenos, people make fun of me because I don't like jalapenos, but it's not the heat. I like spicy food. It's the texture of jalapenos that bothers me. I don't know what it is. It's just do you ever have a food that you just don't like because of the texture?
Eggplant.
Eggplant?
Yeah.
How are you cutting the eggplant?
Badly probably if it was enough to bother me.
Well, when you with the eggplant, you skin it, right?
No, I cubed it.
Well, you don't. You got to skin the purple. You got to take all the purple skin off.
Really?
Right.
Oh, I didn't.
You
Okay.
skin the purple skin off. That is like because tastes like a jalapeno. It's the same texture as a jalapeno.
Mhm.
You skin it, and then what I do is I cut them into discs.
Ah.
Yeah, sometimes my mother-in-law sometimes.
Not the long way, because when you cut them the long ways, you get the fibers, and when you cook them, it gets fibery. But when you cut them into round discs, then I put them in flour, flip them over, flour them again, put them in egg, dip them in egg, and then put them in breadcrumbs, and then I fry them. And if you got clear oil, you just got to fry them until they get a little bit brown. And then what I do is I literally stand them up so they're this way, so all the oil drains on paper. And then I'll get like a little metal boat, and when it's time to heat them up, I put them in a little metal boat, put some sauce, a little bit of cheese, a little bit of sauce, put them on broil, and then slide them into if it's a plate of pasta, slide it onto the plate of pasta, or I cut the bread, put it in the bread, then I put the bread in the oven a little bit just to get the bread crispy. The best. But that's the trick. You got to cut them into discs. round. The eggplant is oblong laying down, and you skin the purple off with the potato peeler, and then cut them into
Yeah, you was doing something wrong. Too bad you weren't around there to correct my mistake.
Just buy an eggplant itself is cheap, so just buy that. You know what I mean, and try it out. But because it's funny, when I was a school teacher, I was working with another teacher, and she said the same thing, that she hates eggplant. I said, that's because she never had my eggplant. She's like, okay, you're cooking me eggplant. So I went to her house with her husband and her kids and everything. Pressure was on, and I cooked eggplant, and they were like, wow, this is actually good. I'm like, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is that same ex-girlfriend that bought me that Comida Sabrosa cookbook, I taught her how to make eggplant, and that's what got her husband. Unfortunately, he was a psychopath, and the marriage was a disaster. So she loved me for that, but I didn't tell her to marry the psychopath. She came home from work one day, and he was sitting naked in the house, and all of the plants were knocked over, and he wrote everything like glyphs all over the house. And she looks at him, and he goes, I love you so much, I don't have to take my medicine anymore. Turned out he was on antipsychotics, and she never knew.
She never knew?
The whole family kept it from her because they wanted him to get married, and they thought that she would, So she was like, oh, great, I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to go get a bottle of champagne. And she left and never came home. They were married for like 4 weeks.
Jeez.
Well, at least it wasn't short. Well, we made lasagna for my birthday. That was fun.
Oh, cool. How you doing, Logic Finest?
Hey, John. How are you?
Good. In honor of the Enterprise, I'll shoot a phaser at you.
Nice. How is everybody doing?
We're good.
Thank you.
Thanks. Oh, wow. We got a lot of people watching now. Thanks for listening to me talk nonsense. Excuse me. And you guys introduce yourselves. I'm just going to fill up my coffee cup. Good, Logic Finest. Go ahead.
Well, hey, it's been a while. It's been a really long time since I've had a chance to stop by. I watch YouTube now through my Brave browser, so I don't log in, so that's why you never see me in chat. But it's been a while, so and I see the topic is patriotic characters, so a really awesome topic. So whatever I can contribute, I'd like to.
Do you like it better not being in chat?
Absolutely.
Well, this chat isn't too bad.
No, not at all.
I'm used to used to chats and stuff.
Yeah, it's just YouTube has been killing me with the ads and the ads and the ads.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
The ads are really bad.
People have been saying, John, you must be making a fortune with all the ads on your channel. It's like, dude, I make like maybe $100 a month. I make about enough money to pay for StreamYard.
YouTube ads have been really bad. I drive all the time, and I play it like the radio. And I know you're supposed to use Brave and stuff, but the regular browser works better for me. And the ads are just impossible. Before every 2 ads, before in the middle, sometimes even on a live stream, you'd be in the middle of something, and then the ads run.
3 of them
don't make any sense. They like you'd be in the middle of a word, and the ad starts. You're like, what the heck just happened?
Which is exactly the reason why I only watch YouTube through my Brave browser. I never
Brave, yeah.
I have not seen a single ad in months, and I will never go back. So the only penalty is, I don't log in through my username, so I don't chat. But that's fine. If that's my penalty to see no ads, I can live with it.
Oh, yeah, it's bad.
I was wondering why I didn't see you for a while. Okay. Yeah, I like to say hello to all the people, just let people know I'm watching this stuff. But I gotta say, I've been limiting my YouTube stuff. First off, because work has been driving me crazy, and it seems like comic book shows are less and less and less. So and now lately I've been watching like religious heresies. I have an idea for a comic book character based on religious heresies. And now since I watched 2 videos, YouTube is suggesting 9 billion, and I can't stop watching them. They're fun.
Well, you know what? Listen, my religious heresy is this: whatever your religion is, whatever your faith is, however you define it, whatever it is for you, if that works for you, I say God bless. I am not here to tell anyone.
Oh no, it's
who
not
is
preaching.
doing what
I just
is religion.
I'm doing a comic book on the biography of Saint Nicholas, and
Okay.
and Saint Nicholas, whether it happened or not, it's just a cool story that he punched Arius in the face during the Council of Nicaea and got arrested. So I had to look up what the Aresian heresy was. So since I looked that up, I was like, that's kind of interesting. I thought it was this one, and I found out that no, that was the Pelagian heresy. So I looked up that one, and then I got all these videos on Gnosticism, which gave me an idea for a supervillain, and so I'm down this cool alchemy, history, philosophy, heresy rabbit hole, and it's all fun.
So-
and you know what? And I don't miss all the drama on YouTube. I literally have no idea what's going on anymore.
Well, that all depends on what you watch,
So, Marcus, anything you want to say before we get into this?
No, I think we should get into this. Yeah.
Okay, that's enough filibuster. We filibuster for 27 minutes. So, Tony suggested last week, right? It was you, patriotic superheroes.
Yes, sir.
So when I say patriotic superheroes, it could be of any country. Captain Boomerang. I'm making things up, but there is a Captain Boomerang. Or the Kiwi is the superhero of New Zealand, right? So he's patriotic, just like Guardian is patriotic for Canada, Captain Britain. So we're not just necessarily talking about the United States. I mean,
But there are no other countries.
right? Well, none that matter.
Well, the United States, except for New York City, that's another country.
Right. It will be soon. It'll be a third world country too.
Nah, they're going to get out of it because that guy won't know what he's doing. He's going to be so out of his league that he's not going to get anything done.
Well, he's going to do all of these things, and people are like, "You can't do that. You can't do that." But
He has no power over
yes,
over like the Port Authority and the buses and stuff. The mayor has less power than they think. He's not the president.
yeah, but
There's
he's
a lot of things going there.
The fire chief already quit, and all of the police are quitting and moving and transferring.
Well, already the fire chief has said, "I'm out of here."
Right. So that's
No,
that.
pretty
And
much
I
that.
think he's trying to destroy New York. I think he's a plant, a Soros plant to destroy New York.
He's going to end up destroying Kathy Hochul, so in the long run, he'll probably be better off for everybody.
And AOC, he's going to take down AOC with.
Oh yeah, they're going to look terrible, and Kathy Hochul had to back him, and then she's going to be embarrassed. Is what's going to happen.
But New York,
listen, his thing about free services and free buses and free healthcare and free housing and free stores and supermarkets and everything else. The thing is this. So when he was asked how is he going to pay for that, he said that he wants to increase the corporate tax rate. Now, the corporate tax year, the fiscal year starts in October, which means that if, first of all, he has to clear the first hurdle of even getting this corporate tax rate passed. So for the sake of argument, let's assume that he does that. It won't take effect until October of 2026. But corporate taxes are only paid once a year. So corporations could, if they want to, not pay their taxes until September of 2027. So what am I saying? We're looking at 2 full years of this new mayor not being able to find the money to pay for his so-called free services. Does he? So everything this guy says is fiscally not possible. But what do I know? I'm just some guy.
nothing. He's a communist, so nothing is fiscally possible. But let's get into. So,
Yeah,
Tony, since it was your topic, you want to bring up some patriotic superheroes?
Sure, I'll bring up 3 as a matter of fact. Okay, the first one is the Minuteman. for Fawcett Comics. He was the very first patriotic superhero, followed by my favorite, Captain America for Timely, and followed by Captain Battle for Lev Gleason's Silver Streak Comics. Now, the shield is the reason why Captain America has the circular shield, because in Captain America Comics #1, he had a kind of a badge-looking shield, and then Archie Comics threatened to sue Timely, so Joe Simon and Jack Kirby said, "We'll just give him a circular shield. Let's not bother with this." And he got it in issue 2 of Captain America Comics. The very first one was the shield, as I mentioned. He was Tom Higgins, a chemist, who basically created a formula that gave him super strength and invulnerability, and that's it. And I never really was too familiar with the Archie line of superheroes, but he was the first.
Is that the Minuteman? I never heard of this character.
The Minuteman, yeah, that's Fawcett. Yeah, he was a. Let me pull him up too. Yeah, Fawcett had a bunch of weird ones here. The Minuteman was, let's see, Jack Weston, an Army private in prime physical condition, who dons a patriotic costume and becomes the Minuteman, a one-man army who combats enemy agents. So that's pretty much, he's kind of a depowered, lame version of Captain America. But he was the second. The Shield was the first.
The Shield was the first. Okay.
Yeah.
Herb Novik, who drew a lot of Batman comics, was the co-creator of the Shield.
Mm-hmm. They tried to bring him back in the 90s. I don't know if you remember that, John. Impact Comics.
Yeah.
DC had the license briefly. It didn't work. They were cool. The only one I remember was the Black Hood, but they didn't really last too long. And then DC lost the rights. I don't know if Archie still has the rights to those guys. Those characters like the Fly, the Comet,
Jaguar.
Yeah, and the fourth one and the other one I like is Quality Comics Uncle Sam, because you can't get more patriotic than Uncle Sam.
That's right.
Yeah, and I guess you could consider Wonder Woman a patriotic superhero, I guess, because she does wear the red, white, and blue.
Yeah, and Superman in a weird way, because the red, blue, and then yellow. But yeah, here's the Shield. It always makes it look like he's wearing droopy drawers the way it's drawn. Mm-hmm. But his name is Lancelot Strong, the Shield. And
that's the 50s.
My friend Mike made Colonel Strong as an homage to the Shield, and he's a character in my comics. So I have a roundabout patriotic hero based on the Shield from Lancelot Strong. Oh, we got my new favorite. What happened? What did I do? We got my new favorite commenter. The comic dude 69, very fitting comic for middle-aged Republicans. He's the voice of Your Soy Zach. So I love this guy's posts, comments. It just makes me laugh. Hey, we got Zaid here. Hey, Zaid, you want to pop in? Anybody who wants to pop? If I don't know you, you got to turn on your camera. But I know Zaid.
But the problem is you keep saying that. How come you keep asking me to turn off my camera, John?
Yeah, I know. If you look like Marcus, you got to turn off your camera.
He's jealous, Marcus, of how handsome you are. He's just jealous.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Is this guy messing with me, or does my audio really sound bad? I know I gotta buy a mic.
Your audio
sounds the same to me.
It's absolutely fine.
In manga, a character named All Might is super patriotic. His special movement is called the United States of Smash. Yeah, that's My Hero Academia. My camera's too low. Okay, maybe I could adjust it.
Your camera's fine, John. Your audio is absolutely fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same as always. I don't get
it's
that.
It's just the stuff you're saying. It's nonsense.
To be honest with you, everybody.
I know this guy likes to goof, but I thought he was being helpful for a second, but he does make me laugh. So first off, RRTNZ, I'm going to call you R because it's just. I see you got your
save time. Good plan.
Is it your Captain America? You got your Captain.
There you go.
I couldn't find my Captain America shirt. So,
I've got a bunch of them. Actually, I can find something. If you come back to me, I'll show you something interesting. But so move on with your other mates, and I'll be back in a minute. I'm gonna find something for you.
He's in New Zealand, so it's kind of interesting. I was gonna ask him, like, is Captain America popular in New Zealand? You know, that would be, because I know that the Marvel Cinematic Universe, outside of America, like in China specifically, Captain America was called the Avenger.
Sure.
You know, and that's why they had him with that black costume and that triangular shield to you know, which bothers me.
That does not surprise me, given the fact that even with all that, just a really quick tangent, even with all that all the DEI stuff that Disney talks and really they only played lip service to it because in the movies they would downplay. I'm sorry, for the advertising for the movies in China, Marvel always downplayed all of their DEI stuff. So I'm not surprised about that in relation to China.
Yeah, I mean that's why they had the Ancient One as a Celtic woman, because they couldn't have a Tibetan leader, you know. So I just think it's funny that they literally had an ancient character. They turned it to an Irish woman to please China. Oh, there you go. You got another Captain America shirt.
Yeah, I can answer your question. So, all right, you see this jersey I'm wearing, right?
Yeah.
Can you see that? Yeah. So, obviously, Captain America, yeah? But this is the jersey for our local Super Rugby team, the Hurricanes. Yeah? So, what happened is the Super Rugby competition, the New Zealand teams and the South African teams done it in the past before, had a licensing deal with Marvel. So, this year, some of the kit, some of their uniforms for the games, you know, popular Captain America is, you actually get this down here. So this is actually a rugby players wear this when they play in, right? So it's actually really comfortable, and I quite like it. So this is my fan jersey because I like to have a game. So
the average New Zealander,
that's how popular Captain America is here.
Oh, so he's well liked.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was okay. Well, I'll tell you this. So I'm a school teacher, right? And I was wearing that T-shirt, the Captain America T-shirt you saw me wearing earlier, right? And I was wearing I had a jumper on or a jersey or something, took it off, and I had that T-shirt underneath. And one of the kids who's Vietnamese and has only been in the country a couple of years said, "Oh, Captain America T-shirt," and all the kids recognized it. So it's Captain America will be very recognized here. I would think, despite the sort of it's getting a bit windy, sorry. Despite the fact that the Marvel films have sort of died down in popularity, but but Captain America would still be very well known.
That was Marvel's fault. Garfield's Bizarre Adventure is they had a Comic-Con in Saudi Arabia. There was a couple of Captain America cosplays by some of the Saudi fans.
Interesting.
So, I know you're really good with all of the old, you know, Golden Age stuff. Like, you know, I asked you about the Shadow and Doc Sam. So you said the Shield was the first.
Right, the Shield was the first.
And then the Minuteman is the second. Who did you say was the third?
The Shield was the first. Captain America was the second, and the Minuteman was the third, and the fourth was Uncle Sam, created by the late great Will Eisner for National Comics
and Black Hawk, for that matter.
Yeah, Janos Prochaska. Yeah. I guess the Blackhawks were made up of. They were like all of Europe, really. The
pointed that he made Blackhawks actually.
The Blackhawk. He originally was a Polish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from day one. That wasn't. I thought that was something that Howard Chaykin
No.
Well,
Howard Chaykin
oh,
made him into a degenerate communist. But I love the series though. In fact, I'm binge reading
Is
it.
there any other kind of communist?
right.
Yeah.
Mayor
But
of my fair city, I guess.
so Logic's Finest. Do you have any of your favorite? And again, it doesn't have to be the United States. Of your favorite patriotic heroes.
Well, for me personally, number one has always been and always will be Steve Rogers, Captain America.
Mhm.
I also like Guardian from Canada, and for whatever strange reason, I've always liked. I believe his name is Captain Britain.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Those are my personal favorite patriotic characters, in that they were not about they were not about well they were just about love of country, defense of their country, and that's it. They were not out to knock anyone else down or to attack any other country. Just love of nation, love of citizens, defend their citizens, truth, justice, and the American way, or the Canadian way, or the British way. But I personally have never seen patriotism as a bad thing. And those characters, to me, represented the very best aspects of patriotism, love of country.
This is by far my favorite Captain Britain costume. The original
Yeah,
one with
that's the one I meant.
but this is just it's just such a great costume. Oh, there's Union Jack from the Invaders. That was a cool one too. But I agree. He just looks powerful. That is just a great design. Yeah.
Yeah, done by the great Alan Davis under the Alan Moore run. Very few people have actually read that run. It's a good comic. He made the bad guy of that run Mad Jim Jaspers, which was essentially his version of Maggie Thatcher if she had reality warping powers. Essentially, that's
Wow.
what Jim Jaspers was.
So there would have been no communists. So she's a good guy then.
She put all the heroes. I remember.
I've got the TPB. I've got the TPB of that run. It is brilliant. It is spectacular work. That would have been in Warrior magazine or Marvel UK. But that's like 1982. That's very old.
It was in a
brutal though. He dies in one of the first issues.
Yeah, it was in a magazine called The Daredevils, because it basically was a bunch of reprints of Frank Miller's Daredevil run. But yeah, I remember a bit of it. He put all of the Marvel superheroes in concentration camps. And
that's right.
Pretty rough there, but it was a good run, mainly for the art, in my opinion. But yeah,
I do have the trade paperback of that.
Did you follow it? Yeah, I do. Did you follow? Because Jamie Delano took over writing duties after Alan Moore left, but Alan Davis stayed on art duties. And the Jamie Delano stories are not as out there as Alan Moore's, but they're still really, really good. And I have a big grudge against Chris Claremont, who created Captain Britain, because after Moore and Delano really developed him as a character, when Chris Claremont put him back into Excalibur and created Excalibur, he undid all that development. And Captain Britain was the butt of jokes. Like it was a complete clown for the first couple of years that book's run. So it's one of my secret grudges against Chris Claremont.
And the thing I remember most about the Captain Britain run was Alan Moore was he created the modern interpretation of Marvel's multiverse. He was the one that came up with the Earth 616 designation. So you had all these different types of Captain Britons all over the multiverse. My favorite one was Captain Airstrip 1, which was essentially Captain Britain.
I knew you were going to say that.
1984.
I knew you were going to say that.
I remember that.
Captain Airstrip 1, yeah.
Captain Airstrip 1.
That's Moore's subversive sense of humor, right?
Yes, it's a shame that Marvel has let all that stuff go out.
Sort of subversive sense of humor, Alan Moore.
Hey, Tony, correct me if I'm wrong, and I freely admit I could be wrong. Am I remembering correctly that there was a character named Union Jack?
Yeah,
Yes.
he was in the Invaders, created by Roy
Okay,
Thomas and Frank.
Invaders.
hmm
I
Invaders.
thought so. Okay, okay.
I think they made him gay now. Last time I heard,
Oh,
or maybe that was the Black Destroyer. I don't know.
yeah, I'm not surprised.
Every Marvel character is gay now until
Was that his porn star name? The Black Destroyer.
is so
Oh,
is this the first appearance of No, this is
Yeah, essentially, what happened was Stan Lee wanted to have more of a presence in the United Kingdom, so he basically decided to create essentially that Captain Britain Weekly. It was a weekly comic because that's how comics are over there, and he hired Claremont to write the first dozen or so issues. Afterwards, it went through a bunch of other writers. The most noteworthy ones were Moore and Jamie Delano. Um, it's been so long since I've read any of these. I think he got his powers from Merlin, and he has a star scepter, I believe, or something like that.
yeah,
And,
and the
yeah,
amulet.
and then later on, Moore incorporated the powers into the suit, and that's when you got that really iconic, beautiful suit that everyone remembers him wearing.
Right, right.
Mm.
This cover artwork, it looks
That's
reminiscent
Herb
of Jack
Trimpe.
Kirby, but
That's Herb
who was that?
Trimpe.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that's
Yeah,
right.
no, I was saying it
Definitely
is
Herb Trimpe.
reminiscent, but not quite.
I liked it. I liked the lion on his chest. I thought that was kind of cool. I guess
Mhm.
yeah. I like that.
In the UK,
The second
in the
costume.
UK in the late 70s. Oh yeah, second costumes a much better redesign. But in the late 70s in the UK, there was a sort of a compilation comic that come out every couple of weeks, and it was a Hulk story, a Black Knight in which Captain Britain often appeared story, some Eternal stories like old Kirby reprints, and Ant-Man. It's you look at them, it's Marvel UK, but it's I can't remember what it's called. Maybe it's called Hulk because Hulk was always the first story in it, and they yeah, so that came out in the UK in the late 70s, just after my family, just after we left. But my relatives would send some to me from time to time. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
it's
remember him in that costume,
Hulk
fighting
Weekly.
alongside the Black Knight.
And that was the
Yeah,
that
I
was
don't have it.
hmm that was where Night Raven came out, which was that pulp character
That's
I
right.
mentioned
That's
again
right.
earlier. Yeah, and that's a
Oh,
great
what a
again.
character.
Yeah, unfortunately, Marvel. I don't know if it's a rights thing. They don't want to pay Alan Moore, or Jamie Delano. I don't know, but that's another one that needs to be in print. But unfortunately, it's somewhere in the twilight zone.
Captain Britain now
Rusty
gets his
Tees.
power. He gets his power from the Quran.
From the what?
From the Quran.
Well, they haven't changed the national anthem yet. Anyway, it's a funny thing.
So,
Was it Dave
I
Gibbons
shouldn't
who
laugh. I'm
drew
sorry.
the Night Raven, or am I remembering wrong? Was
Dave
that
Gibbons,
early?
he did do
Dead
some,
Skin wrote it, created the character, and wrote it.
yeah, he did do some art on that. Mainly, he did art on Doctor
Yeah,
Who, on the Doctor Who run from Marvel UK, which again is a great run. The original Doctor Who,
that's right. Yeah,
from
and
Marvel. But the main artist in Night Raven was Alan Davis, and it's such a great run. I'm glad every time I mention it, nobody remembers it, but
I think I
obviously
have the
you
trade
do.
paperback back in my closet.
Yeah.
As the Alan Moore stuff because I got it years ago.
Yeah.
The original,
what?
So here's
Go
a
ahead, Martin.
bunch
Sorry.
of them.
Those
The
Doctor
Global
Who
Guardian.
comics, they were awesome. I loved them. I absolutely loved them because
which one? I didn't hear what you said.
the Doctor Who comics from back in the 80s, in the late 70s, early 80s. They were awesome comics. I had them. I loved them. I am a huge, massive, massive Doctor Who nerd. I have everything across every genre. So I had to have those two.
So is Doctor Who done? Is it canceled? Is it, you know?
I don't care anymore because I walked away. Classic Who was a different show from New Who. For me personally, it's been a major disappointment, but Disney has officially cut ties with the BBC. So if there is to be any more Doctor Who on screen, it's reverted back to the BBC alone doing it. So I don't know, but then again, I don't care. They forced me to walk away from my favorite character and thing above anything else on this
Yep.
planet, and I never thought I would ever say that. So I
Yeah,
don't
I
even
mean,
care anymore.
it's amazing to me that I don't care about new Marvel and DC comics, Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who. It's just like, and you know, now they're announcing more Lord of the Rings stuff, and every time I hear that, I just shiver. You know, I'm like, knock it off. What, you know, like I said this a million times. If you told me that they were going to make an Ant-Man movie when I was a little kid, I'd be like, oh my god! And then like, oh, and not only is there going to be an Ant-Man movie, but you're not even going to go see it. That's how, you know. So I didn't even see the last Ant-Man movie. You know, they just destroying everything. Dungeons and Dragons, they're rooting.
Mhm.
It seems like the Warhammer people are putting up a fight, but so
Oh,
that's so now I make my own comics and I read old stuff. You know.
The Warhammer people are going to win because of 3D printing. They can totally bypass Games Workshop, and you could use all the older modules. So who cares?
Right. I use my old role-playing stuff. I read my old comics. I guess I'm officially I'm an old man. Yeah.
You know, Tolkien said it best. Evil can't create; it can only corrupt and destroy. And that's what they've done to everything that we love, everything that we've held dear. You know, someone made a very great point. It's almost as if there's a time period, and that time period is the late 60s to the early 90s. And the only thing that Hollywood and the BBC are doing, they locked onto that late 60s to early 90s period, and they're constantly remaking, rebooting, reimagining, refranchising, trying to recreate that period. It's like they're so creatively bankrupt. They don't want to create anything new, so they just remake that time period.
I got to ask you, Logic. What was your last episode of Doctor Who that you quit?
Okay. When Jodie Whittaker became Doctor Who, I sat through the first 2 episodes and I was done. I walked away because for me, New Who was mostly a disappointment. There were a few gems in there, like Blink and the Time of Angels, Flesh and Stone, Heaven Sent, the Family of Blood, Nightmare in the library. But Peter Capaldi.
Did you like
was a
Nightmare in Silver?
Nightmare in Silver was a disappointment, I thought.
I hated it. They totally destroyed the Cybermen. They totally destroyed.
I kind of like that one. Sorry.
Cybermen. They're not robots. They're cyborgs. They're not robots. They don't look like robots, and they don't walk around making that stupid stompy wompy noise. But anyway, the first 2 episodes of Jodie Whittaker, I sat there, and for the first, as disappointing for me as new Doctor Who is from 2005 forward, that's the first time I've ever walked away from Doctor Who and was like, what is this? What did I just watch? It was so empty and so dumbed down and so intellectually bereft of just anything. It's like, this is like the show became about itself instead of trying to tell good stories.
My last episode was the I forget the name of the episode, but when that fat black woman is running down the street huffing and puffing, and I'm the doctor, and you find out that this 600-pound wildebeest was the
timeless child.
And not only was she the best doctor, she was the first doctor, and then there was a million doctors before. It's like, okay,
timeless child. That's the one.
the timeless. Yeah, it's a total disregard for continuity, and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah. Then there was that. So once I heard about that, so I had to go look. I had to go back and look at it, and I said, okay, this is it. You are finally, if you could go back to 1977 and tell 5-year-old me watching this brand new show that I loved, that I would ever get to a point where I wouldn't care and I would walk away, I would tell you you're absolutely wrong and you're lying, because there is no way on this planet that no matter how bad the show got, I would ever stop watching. But that made me walk away.
Yep. All right.
Tom Baker season 3.
Let's get back to Patriotic Heroes now. So,
yeah,
are there any other?
Good.
Let's go by continent now. So now that we're at Captain Britain, are there any other patriotic heroes in Europe that stand out?
Yeah, the Global Guardians.
Yeah,
You
tell us
have
about.
everybody there. Yeah.
Yeah, they have Godiva. She's from England, right?
Yeah, you have the Seraph from Israel, the Bushmaster from Venezuela,
Oh,
the
hang on.
Olympian,
Oh,
the Olympian from
oh, no, I'm
Greece,
thinking stubborn. Sorry.
Jack-o'-lantern from Ireland, Impala from South Africa, Little Mermaid from she's Danish,
Yeah.
Dr. Mist from Africa, Tasmanian Devil from Australia, Rising Sun from Japan, Owl Woman, a Cherokee, Thunderbird, Taiwanese. You got a bunch of them. Yeah, Godiva from England, and Fire and Ice. You have those two.
Yeah. Now that begs the question: Are they patriotic heroes, or are they just like heroes with like a local, like I look at like Owl, whatever. She's not a patriotic like hero. She's just like.
Well, the way they were written in the Super Friends, they were sort of representative of where they come from. So I guess you can see them that way,
Like, Fire was originally Green Flame, right?
Yes, and she was from Brazil.
Brazil.
She wasn't Brazil's like patriotic hero, unless
I think the only hero that Brazil. Yeah.
And Ronaldo.
like is there something about Brazil and Green Flame that we should know about?
I got that.
And I remember in the 50s, and this was one of those weird ones that Grant Morrison sort of globbed onto, were the Superman from other places. So you had like the Knight from England, and you had the Musketeer from France. Gosh, I'm trying to remember. It's been a while since I wasn't there an Australian one?
Yeah,
that is Batman thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Was that Morrison's Batman thing? Batman International.
Mm-hmm.
I remember there was a Mexican Batman that was like a bullfighter.
Yes. Yeah.
He had the bat ears, but it was like a bullfighter. Yeah. So that's the question then. Like you could have a superhero from another country, and they're based on stuff of that culture, but does that make them a patriotic hero? Like what is it that makes you a patriotic hero?
For me, you have to be wrapped in the flag.
Okay.
I'm not just talking about your costume. You have to represent America. So that's why, you have, or Britain, or wherever. So you have Captain Britain, or the Union Jack, Captain America, or the Shield, or even Wonder Woman. It has to be part of your thing. Or Miss America.
The Fighting Yang.
What about Judge Dredd?
Captain Freedom. There's like a million of them.
What about the Black?
But Judge Dredd.
What about the Black Panther? Because technically, isn't the Black Panther the ultimate patriot? He's all about his country, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Good call.
But he's the king, though. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I would say the Black Panther is a patriotic hero to a made-up country of Wakanda, because then we since found out that he's the king, and he's also the Black Panther is like a totem of popular tribe.
Wait, I thought Wakanda was real. What are you talking about?
I love that isolationist nation that just doesn't want to wants to keep everyone out, built a wall around them, just that all.
They cured cancer, won't tell anybody. Nice guys over there.
Yeah, the best. You know what I mean?
The best.
Colonized space like 20,000 years ago. It's like, knock it off.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, I think Jack Kirby's three. What did they? He made like the three Mouseketeers, the three Panther Tears, or something in the 70s, and he had a fat one, a woman one. You ever see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the best. He gets away with everything.
No way.
Oh yeah, it's in his Black Panther run. It's unbelievable.
I love that That was my introduction to Black Panther. That with King Solomon's frog.
Those are crazy. The Black Panther acted like the Black Panther, but everything around him everything's so wild. That Captain America are just so wild, and they're not part of the Marvel universe at all. And then Marvel let him do it. I mean, he went back to Cap. He wouldn't go back to anywhere else.
Well, he didn't want to go back to stuff he already did. He wanted to explore new stuff.
Yeah, well,
he did. Like he handed the Black Panther off to Steve Ditko after a while. Yeah. So if the Black Panther is a patriot here, so isn't Submariner therefore a patriotic superhero?
I guess I suppose. Yeah.
Well, he's the king of Atlantis. He shouts Imperious Rex. That's like no different than saying like God Save the Queen or something.
Yeah, but shouldn't he be called Captain Atlantis or Major Atlantis? Yeah, just like the Black Panther should be called Captain Wakanda.
Is a green bathing suit costume?
Admiral Atlantis.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think.
Red Guardian.
The Red
Guardian, both Red Guardians.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Great costume that is too.
What about
Soviet Super Soldiers? There's a team, Marvel.
Well, I was gonna. What about Omega Red and the Crimson Dynamo?
Yeah, the Omega Red was a failed version of Captain America. So yeah, that counts. That counts.
Now that's kind of funny because, like Captain America, he's a representation of America, the ideal of America. Like I always thought that Captain America, he's not necessarily like loyal to the government. He's loyal to the concept.
The American people. Exactly.
Right. And to me, that's what a patriotic superhero should be.
That's what Shooter told you.
Right. And then,
Shooter told you that.
Okay. I'm trying to finish the thought. Crimson Dynamo and Omega Red, they were like loyal to like the Soviet ideal.
Mm-hmm.
Once the Soviet ideal collapsed, are they still patriotic heroes? Like just imagine during the Civil War, they could have had like Captain Confederacy versus the Union Man. And
Omega Red became a pawn of the hand. So I mean, yeah, he wasn't representing Boris Yeltsin at the time,
But you know what I mean? Like was the Red Skull at one point a patriotic superhero?
Oh, good. The Red Skull. I guess you can count, or Captain Nazi for that matter. I didn't think of that.
And then there were
Captain Nazi.
Right.
Okay. Well, John, to answer your question about the Soviet ideal during those times, the quote unquote Soviet ideal was love of nation. Because I'm not defending, I'm just trying to further the conversation on your question. For the Soviets, love of party was love of nation. For them, there was no difference between the party and the nation. So, according to their rhetoric, if you love the Soviet ideal, you automatically loved the Soviet state. Because for them, the party, the state, the people was all one.
Right.
One,
Good. Yeah.
Big thing.
Yeah, so that's I'm not making a definitive rule. I'm just speculating for interest of this topic.
Right. Yeah, same. Could
yesterday's patriotic hero be today's supervillain? Like, I don't think anybody's going to say the Red Skull is a superhero. You know what I mean? But at one point, he did represent.
Well, I think
the difference between Captain Nazi and the Skull was Nazi was their version of Captain America. The Skull was a terrorist.
Right.
He was a terrorist operative. So I really, I mean, that's what the skull mask was about. It was psychological warfare.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't think you could put him in that, but you can definitely put Captain Nazi there. Oh, most definitely, yes.
So I'm trying to think, like.
Are you conflating, though, loyalty to, like a representative of an ideal or with politics? Because,
Yeah, that's
sorry,
just
John, I didn't mean to yell, yeah? Yeah, but I was re-listening to your amazing Jim Shooter interview earlier today, and him saying to you, because that was a fantastic interview. If you guys haven't seen it, watched it like 100 times. It's incredible. But I
It
get
is.
something new every time I see it. Yeah,
Mhm.
but he said, Captain America's not political. He's not loyal to the government. He's not loyal to a party. He's not Republican, and that's why he wouldn't allow Captain America to be president, because Captain America is loyal to this ideal of what America should be,
Mhm.
but he's not loyal to any political party or organization.
Yeah.
Right.
Hell.
So which is why RR I'm not taking a stance. All I'm saying is the Soviet ideal, which okay, I will take a stance. I disagree with Soviets. I disagree with communism 1,000%. What I'm saying is, for them, they didn't see a distinction between party and nation. For them, it was all one thing. So for them, they said, if you love the people, if you love the ideal, if you love nation, if you love the country, the state, you believe in the Soviet ideals. They didn't make any distinctions. So I'm just asking, philosophically, with that question you just posed, would it really carry weight to them?
Right. Yeah. So like.
I mean, no, I agree with you on
Right. Yeah. This is
principle, but would it matter to Soviets?
right. I'm. This is, to me, is an interesting topic because, like, okay, so during World War II, when I'm gonna make up a this guy didn't exist, but the Zero. Okay, that was the name of the fighter planes in World War II that the Japanese used. So we got patriotic. He's loyal to the what was the Imperial Japan and
The Emperor.
Like the Emperor
Hirohito.
Right, and then after the war, is he still a patriotic hero? They lost, you know what I mean, and the zeitgeist of Japan changed. You know what I mean?
You could use the same argument that Steve Englehart was doing with Captain America, I think, when in the 70s when he made him renounce and become the captain, after Watergate. I mean,
yeah, that to me was a misfire. Everybody talks about that. I don't like it because to me, Captain America is supposed to be like, to me, if anything, if Captain America is going to represent anything physical or tangible, it's the Constitution. You know what I mean? And the Constitution is not Republican, and it's not Democrat, and it's not Whig, and it's not Federalist. You know what I mean? It's so for him to get disillusioned because the president was a bum. Yeah, but that's not the Constitution's fault. You know what I mean?
That's what you get when you have a liberal dude writing it.
That's why I don't like hard traveling heroes, and that's why how dare you say to Green Lantern, "What have you done for the black skins?" I saved the planet from blowing up. You ungrateful piece of crap. Did you wake up today? Did you say thank you? That's what I did for you.
Well, since I read Captain America at the time, I did enjoy it, I have to say.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, it was exciting. The difference between what happened in Captain America and there's other comics, not hard traveling heroes, there really was no agenda. So it still was a good story if you didn't get all that and you were like 10.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like now, if they did it now, it's all full of agenda, and then Cap is going to be kissing the Falcon in when they're in jail together, because the whole thing was like, it was a whole thing that was like prophetic of fake news. It started out as fake news.
What?
Where they ruined the name of Captain America.
Falcon?
They were thrown in jail.
He's making an example. That didn't happen as far as we know.
Oh,
Well, okay. So,
that's a
So
relief.
you're right, but previously to that run, Captain America was even worse. I mean, they pretty much did BLM in 1972, and he's riding around a motorcycle and seeing protesters, and he's all confused. I mean, it looked good, but it was pretty aimless. And Englehart he brought back the 50s Cap, and it wasn't aimless anymore. But it doesn't age all that well. I think that's the issue. Like, you read it back now, and you're like, oh my God, what are they doing?
Same thing with the Mark Gruenwald run. That's how I discovered the character. That's all I knew back then. You read it now; it's very political. You could
He's
really
pretty
tell.
lefty. I mean, basically turned Ronald Reagan into a snake. Now I did catch that because I was older. But
at what point does it
what about the
down to
comedian?
what's right and what's
Yeah,
wrong?
he was. Well, he's an American agent. He's an
He
American
wears
agent.
the flag. He wears
He-
stars and stripes. A comedian.
yeah, Richard Nixon's enforcer. I guess you can count him as that, I suppose.
Right.
Yeah.
So at what point does it come down to what's right and what's wrong? Because again, I think this comes back to the question that are posed: is a person loyal to the government, or are they loyal to the people? So now, if you're loyal to the government, that means you're loyal to the state. But what if the state is inherently evil? Case in point, the Soviets and the socialists of Nazi Germany. But what if the state is inherently good and inherently just?
Right. So I mean, we all agree that love is a positive emotion, but there's people that do bad things in the name of love. You know what I mean? So patriotism could be abused. Case in point, the character of Nuke from Frank Miller's Daredevil, right?
Oh yeah.
He was a patriotic, in his mind, a hero. The comedian was a patriotic hero, but he used his patriotism. He did some bad things, and Nuke was a hired thug. Then he
which is why I said my idea of patriotic characters they represent the best and greatest ideals of patriotism. Love of country, love of people, defending your country, but you're not out to hurt other people for just because you want to love and protect your citizens.
Yes, that is the ideal. The ideal of patriotism. But like everything else, we could have the anti-hero, like somebody brought up Judge Dredd in the chat. You know what I mean?
Or two of them in the Homelander and Soldier Boy.
Yeah.
Well, Judge Dredd.
Can you say that character?
Judge Dredd is a police officer.
Yes, but he represents Mega City 1. Did you ever read when he fought the Soviet judges? You probably read
I remember that.
Yeah, so he was like the representative.
Apocalypse War.
Yeah. The Apocalypse War, thank you. Yeah.
True. Very true, very true.
So
this though?
Yeah, go ahead, R.
I'll say quickly. The comedian and Nuke are two examples of the inversion of the patriotic hero, and the Red Skull as well. They're patriotic villains, right?
Right.
That they represent the worst in their own governments. Whereas Captain America is a hero, first and foremost. He stands above sort of the state as an organization. He stands up for an ideal, right? But these guys, Nuke, comedian, and other examples, are the inversion of that. And they're captured by the fallibility of the state. That's all I was going to say.
Yeah. So I'm going to distinguish this by patriotic with a capital P, like Superman, Captain America, and then patriotic with a lowercase p, Nuke, the comedian, and like.
Where does the U.S. agent fall into that then?
That's a good question.
So one thing about the Grunwald run of Captain America, which they kind of used in the movies, when we didn't really realize it when we were kids, that the U.S. we knew it, but we didn't really think about it. The U.S. government was the one who gifted or gave Steve Rogers the Captain America mantle, right? in 250, like FDR gave it to Steve Rogers to be Captain America for the home front.
Mm-hmm.
So when they decided he wasn't good enough Captain America anymore, they took it away from him, and they gave it to John Walker, who was a psychotic. And so we didn't really realize that. So Captain America was kind of a governmental, although we didn't think about it for all those years. He wasn't a governmental character, but I suppose he was, right?
Yeah, he was created by the United States government. They're unlike the other patriotic characters like the Shield, like Uncle Sam, the Minuteman, the Man of War, all of them. They were just guys that felt patriotic, threw on a colorful costume and
right.
fought.
Well, it's a big World War II thing. There's a billion of Captain Freedom, fighting Yanks.
But he was Project Rebirth. He was government funded. Yeah.
So that's kind of the U.S. agent ends up to be the government, and they let Steve Rogers back into Captain America,
mm-hmm.
and then they have to pretend he's not run by the government because the next writer doesn't want to do that. And so where does that leave either Cap and what he became the captain for that time, and they were really protecting. Marvel was protecting their trademark. They had to create another Captain America in case they lost the Captain America. All these crazy changes are lots of times just corporate ideas, not just because they're all raised liberals either. It's kind of a combination of the two.
Yeah, I got to agree with Dave. The Homelander is not a patriotic hero. He's using patriotism, but he's really loyal to the corporation, right?
I guess I haven't read the Boys in so long, I couldn't tell you.
That's the way it is in the comic. I don't know about the TV show. I don't want to watch the TV show.
Yeah, I'm not watching that. I don't watch that stuff.
I remember that's sort of what Steve Englehart did to the 50s captain, to explain away the brief commie fighting of the 50s. Steve Englehart just said, he was when the captain was on ice, hey, the government tried to make another one and he went nuts and he punched out too many commies, so we put him on ice, and we brought him back as a white supremacist. Remember the Grand Dictator?
Right. Yeah, I remember that. They had to say that
was after Englehart, the Grand Dictator, though.
They had to say that the commie smasher was a bad guy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what? Listen, I have another Patriot for you, but like R said, he's the inverse of a negative Patriot. Henry Peter Gyrick.
Oh yeah.
He's a Patriot, but he's the inverse.
Yes.
He's the inverse.
But then you could say the same thing for Sergeant Frank Rock or Nicholas Fury. He's a government guy.
No.
I push back against that.
I
push back against that one.
Colonel Nick Fury is a patriot. He loves country.
Which one? The real one or the Sam Jackson one?
Well, the original Nick Fury, who was with Henry Peter Gyrick. He's a patriot. He sees himself as being a patriot, but we know he is the absolute worst of everything that word can be perverted into. Whereas Nick Fury, the old Nick Fury, the pre-Sam Jackson Fury, who was one of the Howling Commandos, who then later became, Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. That guy's a pure patriot through and through, complete opposite of Henry Peter Gyrick and the ideal of patriotism, which is what Nick Fury represents.
I will say that Henry Gyrick, great character.
Amanda Waller.
I love Henry Gyrick.
He ended up doing a parody of Jim Shooter. They made him 6'7". They kept making fun of him.
Yeah, but Amanda Waller and Henry Gyrick, I will say that they are not the patriarch. They represent the bureaucracy.
Right. But that made sense, right? Because they're gonna give this, in the 60s, and they didn't think about it. They give, they have the Avengers have they can do anything. They have a card. They can get anywhere. They can have all the CIA files they want. Well, wouldn't they have somebody overseeing them from the government? I mean, it goes to like how you think, John, where what makes sense. A little of that does go a long way. So it made sense for them to say, okay, you need to have somebody take advantage. You know, you guys are blowing everything up and destroying everything. We got to look at you, and we're going to choose who's in your thing. And and the Falcon was the DEI at the time.
Yeah,
he made a lot of sense at the time. Yeah.
I thought Guy Ritchie was a great character in the movies. Didn't they just like unceremoniously kill him?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was
well, he was kind of replaced by the guy Phil. What's his face? As the liaison.
Yeah, but Phil Coulson was a hero. He was a good guy. Henry Guy Ritchie was a bureaucrat.
I like Phil Coulson. That was a good show.
Didn't he help build Sentinel?
Tell him it's asking about the I know that there are patriotic heroes in the Invincible. Why am I blanking on them?
I don't really read much of Invincible, so I don't know that as well.
I couldn't help you there.
Who's the Eric Larson one?
Super Patriot.
Super Commando? The
Super Patriot.
Yeah, from the Eric Larson universe. Yeah.
Well, he's probably a porn star now,
No, worse. He's a liberal.
Well, same difference, right? In Eric Larson's world.
So let's get down. We've been talking for almost an hour and a half now. So I know I'm predicting there's not going to be too much of an argument. But who is the greatest example of a patriotic superhero?
Captain America.
Has to be Captain America.
Captain America. I mean,
I agree with that.
Captain America.
Captain America, because first off, he's got it in the name. He's got the shield. He doesn't have an offensive weapon. He's like defense. I think that's brilliant psychological, whether they planned it that way or what. But he carries a shield because he's a protector. I always think, and you can see how much I like Captain America. I got the two shields, but I think he's the most obviously great patriot. But I think Superman. Truth, justice.
I was going to say Superman, especially, they took it away from him. But to me, yes. And if you look up patriotic heroes, Superman comes up.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, and Wonder Woman. I mean,
Wonder Woman comes up as well.
Can I say something?
I will say that like Superman. Like I love that people always bring up Superman. Yeah, he's an immigrant. Yeah, okay. Whether he's a born here or whatever, that's besides the point. The point is he came from someplace else and he assimilated and he adopts American values and champions American values. It's like, I don't care if you're from Pakistan or God forbid New Zealand and you come here, but become American. You know what I mean? So I love when all these people say like all these people Captain America's an immigrant. Yeah, but he became American. He works hard. He's not on SNAP benefits, and he's not, granted he could fly and stuff like that. But he.
We know that maybe in college he had to be on SNAP benefits. We don't know that. That's an untold story. A lot of college students end up on SNAP benefits.
Did they still use that though, John? Truth, justice, and the American way, or did they change it? They changed it. What they changed it?
It's hard not to say it.
What do they say? Truth, justice, and all that other stuff.
Oh,
one of them they said that, yeah.
And
God.
the right way or something like that, the human way.
Yeah. And what did and truth, justice, and the human way or something like that? They said the new movie.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Although actually, I think they just didn't bring it up. I think they were going to put that in, and I think it didn't test well, and they just smartly.
Yeah, more than likely, they didn't test well. Yeah.
Zach Dan. I thought Zach Dan was lead. Captain America originally.
Just saying.
Captain America to me is the ultimate patriotic superhero. I mean, it's on the nose. He's got the shield, he's got the star, he's got the colors, he's got it in his name. He was literally created to fight in World War II. But Superman is the second best, only because he's not as obvious as Captain America.
Yep.
James Bond.
Well, Zack Snyder got that right.
Zack Snyder got something right about Superman. Could have fooled me.
He did. In Man of Steel, what does he say at the end of the film? What if we act against America's interests? I grew up in Kansas, General. I'm as American as it gets.
Oh yeah,
There
I
you
forgot
go.
about that.
There
That
you go.
was a good one.
There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah.
There you go.
So I love that movie, but yeah.
Yeah. Listen, same here. I understand that Superman purists don't like it. I respect that. I am not a Superman purist. I think as on its own merits, as an individual thing, that film is great. It's not Superman, it's not a
Couldn't
comic
agree more.
I'll give you all of that. I'll give you all of that.
Listen to that, man.
As a single thing on its own merits, film was absolutely brilliant.
I guess you could put James Bond in that, but again, I've always seen him as the fist of the empire. You know, the guy that you sent over to take care of things. Whereas Captain Britain is all, flies around and he's all smiles. But you send James Bond in to take care of the shit you don't want Captain Britain to take care of.
What about that one by Paul? What was the one? There was Union Jack, and there's
Spitfire.
The other one, the Staff, the indie one.
Oh, Jack Staff.
Jack Staff.
Yeah. I haven't heard of Jack Staff in years. I wonder if he's still.
I just remembered that. I forgot who's really Paul Pope.
Yeah.
I agree that James Bond, to me, like, he's landed aristocracy. He's a power, but he's not a superhero. You know what I mean? He's not a comic book superhero. So but yeah, I would say that he's a patriotic hero. I'm talking about laser beams and flying and stuff. And then, of course, there's the Flying Dutchman over there at Genuine Comics, the Superman.
But he's got Genuine Comics has got an American
Bliss. American Bliss.
American Bliss.
It's baffling. People working in comics and entertainment are not patriotic at all. It is baffling. You're absolutely right, Dave. Come on in, Dave. I put the link up a few times.
They used to be.
The one I remember the most, though, from the Alex Ross miniseries was Uncle Sam. Because you read that miniseries, man, that is anti-American as it gets. But it did make me go out and seek as many of the reprints of the original stuff from Quality Comics, the stuff that was done by Will Eisner. Really neat character. He could grow, he could shrink, and his powers were only as good as the patriotism of the people around him.
I wonder if Alex Ross really feels that way, or is that just his friend writer, the guy who wrote it?
Dude, he drew a picture of
I remember that.
Of George Bush sucking as a vampire, sucking the neck of the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, I remember that.
Wow.
But he seems to draw like Captain America and Superman with great reverence as well. He's kind of like a dichotomy, and he doesn't talk about it.
And he also did that thing with Charlie Kirk. Remember, after he got gunned down, he tweeted out a picture of.
That wasn't him though. He doesn't even have a cell phone. That's whoever runs his thing.
Oh, okay, all right.
Give him that. He doesn't. You know what? He doesn't run his Twitter.
Okay.
I'm not defending him. You can feel that way. Of all the people, at least he doesn't talk as much about it as others do.
Yeah. He's not like Mark Waid. But I mean, if you go back and you read that mini series, the one that he did, because he wrote that.
I had that mini series. It was terribly
slavery. Inequality. At one point, he talks to a lawn jockey in blackface. I mean,
I remember that. Yeah, I remember
you can't get any more on the nose than that. Beautiful.
That really did me to his work at that point too. Mm-hmm. I remember that. I never understood that.
Since we are talking about patriotism, have you read Superman Red Son? Personally,
yes.
This would be a hot take. I don't like it. I didn't like it. I understand what Miller was saying. I understand the concept. I have no problem with the concept. Personally, I just didn't like it because maybe I'm just so in love with the whole idea of Superman thing. I didn't like the execution of it for whatever reason. It rubbed me the wrong way, but I'm just curious as to your thoughts.
I agree with you.
Loved it.
That comic series didn't sit well with me. but I love the designs. The Red Sun costume is a cool costume. And tell me, Wonder Woman, that costume with that Russian hairstyle and it's almost like I thought that Wonder Woman costume was just so freaking cool. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't want to see Superman as the bad guy. I'm tired of the anti-Superman. Like, I like Gladiator from Marvel because he's not Superman. He's the enforcer of a space empire from another galaxy. So yes, he could look like Superman, he could act like Superman, but he's not. He's an homage of Superman, but he's not evil Superman. He's patriotic guy to his empire. You know what I mean? And sometimes he's good, and sometimes he's bad. Like I like Gladiator a lot, actually, but I don't like the Homelander. I don't like the evil Hyperion. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just tired of evil Superman tropes.
Well, some of that, now the trope is dead. It's too much. But at one point, it wasn't. It's an Elseworld, so it doesn't really bother me. It doesn't take the place of Superman. And American didn't write it either.
I want to push back on that and against that and what you said about Red Sun. If anything, Red Sun shows two things. One, the innate goodness of Superman in that he wants to do the best for everyone. And two, Mark Millar's perception of the United States valuing personal freedom as being the key difference in the upbringing of Superman as a Soviet superhero to an American superhero. That he grows up wanting to take on the Soviet ideal. Oh, I want to make everybody equal. I want everyone to be okay. I want to protect everyone. But to do that, I have to use the Soviet model of control. Whereas the American model is Superman defends people's freedom, right? So
Right.
I think there's a lot to that work that's subversive. And ultimately, Superman makes the right choice at the end, right? And
Right. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of. To me, it's a great story. Just gonna say that.
Yeah. I'm not arguing. I don't dislike it, but I don't like it either. It rubs me the wrong way, but I don't say, it's a bad story. It's just, yeah, I can't really,
Fair play.
I'm not neutral, but I don't dislike it, but I don't like it either. But you do make great points, though. You do.
The one that rubbed me the wrong way was Superman in The Dark Knight Returns. There is no
that bothered me. Oh yes, that bothered me.
Allow himself to be used like that. There is no way in hell that would happen. I never liked
that. Soured me on the whole series. I couldn't.
Like he was Reagan's.
No, I sold the series because of that. So
Yeah.
I go back now and I go, artistically, this is this great series.
I'll put back on that one too.
I don't know. I don't know. You know what? After all of these years, I still don't know where I am with that, because I can see it. It makes sense in world as a concept, but then again, it's Superman. Like, he's no one's lapdog. So I don't know.
I think it's a real cynical take.
Yeah, I
cynical take on Superman.
But I'm okay with the cynical take. Personally, I like The Dark Knight Returns. I do. I really like The Dark Knight Returns. I like the cynicism. I like the take, the half dystopian future of it. I get it. Like it. I even like Batman's character arc in it, and where he ends up and how the story ends. The Superman bit, to me, like, I kind of see it. It kind of plays into the whole big blue Boy Scout thing, but it kind of doesn't. So I don't know. That's where
I didn't think that
wishy-washy, but
I was looking at my comics as I go, my kids are getting older, they're going to read these comics. And I said I didn't want them to read two DC comics, Watchmen and Dark Knight.
And you were seeing
They were talking 8 to 10 years old. One read 200 issues of the Spider-Man. The other read 350 issues of the Hulk. Right? Like, they just put the comic boxes in their room. and I just didn't think Ronald Reagan was treated well in Dark Knight Returns. I don't think he deserved that, and I didn't think Superman deserved it either. Now, is it a great piece of artwork, and did he do the right by Batman? Well, it's supposed to be an Elseworlds, and DC decided it wasn't an Elseworlds, and that's the mistake, right? But that's not on Frank Miller.
I think Frank Miller's high point was the Year One. I think Year One was a better story. I think Dark Knight Returns was just.
I think Year One was a better story.
It's smashing action
Year
figures.
One's magic.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably my favorite Batman story.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Year One.
Yeah.
Year One's terrific.
Year One is.
Can I push back a little bit on Dark Knight Returns?
Mm.
Yeah, please.
I want to push back a little bit on a couple of because I love that book, and three things about the conflict between Batman and Superman that Miller draws it out in a nuanced way. There are panels in those issues which are just Superman's thoughts. Superman is in an impossible position in that comic, maintaining an equilibrium to avoid nuclear war. Like you see him in Court of Maltese causing the earthquake to destabilize the aircraft carrier, right? You see him divert the Clobbering nuclear weapon. So he's trying to maintain a peace because stopping nuclear war is almost beyond his ability to do so. And that's the only way he sees he can, by being servant of the state. So in that sense, it makes sense for him to do what he does, which is very un-Superman-like, but he does it anyway. Second, Miller understands the fundamental belief system of Batman, and this is where Batman vs. Superman film gets it wrong. At no time during the fight does Superman intend to kill Batman, and at no time does Batman intend to kill Superman. There is no intent on either part of the characters to kill each other. It's just a show. It's a
I
showdown.
want to push back on the first one because if I'm remembering correctly, didn't Reagan use Superman to break up the Justice League? Like he basically just had him shut down everybody. And wasn't he responsible for the maiming of Green Arrow? Remember, he lost his arm?
I don't know, because there's very little context or explanation given in the story. Like,
no, he said it still hurts me when I'm cold. Remember, he blamed Superman. Yeah.
Superman, and that's why he wanted the revenge.
But is it ever shown that Superman rips his arm off or lasers it off? Or is that an assumption? Is that an inference for drawing?
That's why Chuck Dixon, when he was writing Green Arrow, they had when Green Arrow was killed. Originally, it was going to be Green Arrow got his arm cut off by Superman,
right?
You know, and to bring Dark Knight continuity into regular DC, and then at the last minute they said just kill Green Arrow. So Chuck Dixon said he had to change the script in the middle because he's so fast that he was practically done already, and then he's like, now I have to do it again. But you know,
I've got another patriotic character for you.
Sure.
Okay, so because you're all Americans, it won't mean as much as it does to me. Even down here, we celebrate it. So this week was 5th of November, right? No, V for Vendetta. Guy Fawkes.
Yeah.
Is V a patriotic character?
He's a terrorist, but Guy Fawkes himself was a patriot. I thought, yeah. But what does they say? One man's patriot is another man's terror.
You took the words out of my mouth, Tony. Thank you. He is a patriot. He is an absolute patriot. And his thing was he's loyal to the state, he's loyal to the government, he's loyal to the people, up until the point where the government, aka the state, starts hurting the people for its own personal benefit. That's where he had to start doing what he did.
I just think it's funny that all of these kids, you know, they put on V for Vendetta masks.
Sorry, John?
It's like, do you realize that this guy wanted to make a Christian theocracy? You know what I mean? Like everything you guys hate, you know, you're here. The real Guy Fawkes wanted to. What was he? I forget if he wanted to get rid of the Protestants to make a Christian.
Catholic. Yeah.
So I just have to laugh. You know, you guys You don't want Guy Fawkes, all you anarchist punk rock kids.
Well, because they don't know who Guy Fawkes is. All they know
Right.
is
They just
they
watch
know
the
that
movie.
exactly. They only know the movie. They don't know that Guy Fawkes was a real person.
How about
It's like
G.I.
wearing
Joe?
a T-shirt.
What did you
What was
say?
that, Tony?
What about G.I. Joe? Can't get more American than that. He's a real American hero.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
He'll fight
Are
for
we
freedom wherever there's trouble. G.I. Joe is there.
Are we talking the G.I. Joe from my youth, the
I don't know.
12-inch toys, or the cartoon?
I was thinking Sergeant Rock, and then I thought, Duke from the cartoon, and then I remembered the song, so I was like, can't get more patriotic than that song, I guess.
I mean, the original G.I. Joe was a guy named Joe. You know, the big 12-inch fuzzy-headed toys that I had as a kid.
I had those.
Not the
Exactly.
ones that came out later. But yeah,
Exactly.
I mean, obviously he's a soldier fighting, you know, in a war. He's by definition a patriot, but he's not a superhero.
G.I. Joe. It was like 3 or 4 of them. It was the blonde guy, it was the redhead guy, and the black guy.
And then later on, they had the guy with the steel fist. You know,
Exactly.
and then Jack Kirby did all the box art for them later on. You remember that, right, Marcus?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's right. I used to. When the GI Joes would lose an arm, we pretended he got wounded in the knob. Me and my brother. I swear to God, my mother talks about that. She used to talk about that because that was all over. That was like my childhood, right?
Guys, I got to get to sleep. I've been up. You know, I got up early. I was doing my.
We could do a whole other show on this. We just scratched the surface. There's so many of these characters.
There's so many.
Yeah.
Oh, one last question I wanted to ask. Now, if, like, again, Captain Britain, he's just British. You know what I mean? Like, his power isn't like, I have the power of the crown. You know what I mean? Like, he flies. He's super strong. You know what I mean? But then I'm trying to think of like is what I know there's like an Australian patriotic hero is
Ned Kelly.
What's that?
Ned Kelly.
Crocodile Dundee.
You know, if somebody was to make,
I'm not going to say the person I'm thinking of because I get in trouble. So no comment.
But if, like, let's just say in Heroic Tales #3, I debut Captain Australia. And he's got the powers of beer, and then shrimp on the, and he's just a stereotype. Like, you don't have to be a stereotype to be a patriotic hero. Like, I'm trying to think of like a French Captain France. Does he have to have a French bread and a beret? You know what I mean? Like, we all like Captain Britain, and
wouldn't Captain Australia have the powers, the powers of a kangaroo? Like Spider-Man had the proportionate powers of a spider.
The ultimate Canadian patriotic hero is Guardian. You know
what I mean? Captain Canuck.
Yeah, Captain. That comic though, I wanted to like that comic. It's all over the place.
I think it goes like what I was saying before. For patriotic superhero, you have to represent that. Not only you have to wear the flag, but you have to represent the ideals of the country. Like the Guardian or Captain America or I don't know.
Captain Britain.
Yeah, Captain Britain and all that. You have to that's part of the deal. That's you're a patriot.
All right, well, we got somebody from another country right here. RR. So you were tasked with coming up with a patriotic superhero for New Zealand. What would you call him? What would his powers be?
Well, to be honest, if I want to be, all right. So if I picked a patriotic character for New Zealand, I would probably go into the indigenous people of New Zealand because they're quite a significant. I mean, they're like 20% of the population, and they're much more assimilated into society than First Nations folks are in the States. It's a very different arrangement, right? So a lot of New Zealand culture is a fusion of the British colonists and the Maori who were here before them, right? So I mean, what I would do is I'd probably go back to Marty Myth and Legend and come up with a character. I mean, you've all seen Moana, that film, right? So that the rock character Maui features very heavily in the Polynesian hero in Marty Myths and Legends. So that's the first sort of Polynesian superhero is the Maui character, who's a shapeshifter, who has a magic fish hook, who does. I mean, one of the legends here is that he used that fish hook to pull up an enormous stingray, which became the North Island of New Zealand, to ika a Maui. Like the kids learn to speak Te Reo Māori, like the Māori language in school. So it's very, yeah. So that's where I would go. So his power set would be he'd be a Māori warrior of some kind with some magical abilities and be really good at rugby league.
So my point that I was trying to get, like, I think when you're making a patriotic hero, it's okay to delve into a little bit of stereotypes. Like Captain Britain is one of the few that's not really a stereotype. Like a perfect example, in the 90s in the Justice League, they had a British superhero called the Beefeater. That was a stereotypical version of superheroes of a British character.
I remember that guy.
Well, Captain Britain was a bit of a stereotype. He got his powers from Merlin.
Yeah, okay, yeah, he got his powers. Yeah. I mean, and Captain America got his powers from a military experiment. I mean, but like, I'm talking about like,
also,
who was the Justice League character, John?
Wolverine doesn't count. Wolverine is not a patriot. He's never
right. I was going to address that. Wolverine is not a patriot. He's just from Canada. But he's not. But he's not like a patriot. It's not like he's like, I'm doing this for Canada, for Rocky Mountains, or you know what I mean, or he's like even Puck to me, he's a Canadian superhero, but he wasn't patriotic.
Well, he worked for the governmental.
Right.
That's why there's a question of it, but not like Guardian. No.
Yeah. So I mean, just because like Crimson Fox, she wasn't a patriotic French superhero. She was just a superhero from France. That's like saying Spider-Man is a patriotic American hero. He's an American hero, but he's not like his portfolio isn't patriotism.
Is Spider-Man gay yet?
Please. Not. Also, I have to say this. Captain America. I can't say now because I walked away from Marvel Comics a long time ago. But Captain America was the greatest leader in Marvel Comics. He was number one, bar none, above all the others. The second greatest leader was Cyclops, and Cyclops has been done dirty in live action. There has not been a live action film he has been done
dirty in the comics. Forget the live action.
Yeah, no character has been assassinated like Cyclops. Like in the movies and the comics, he went from one of my favorite characters to a character I just don't even want to deal with anymore. Like I told you, if I wrote for Marvel, one of the things I would do is like, I want to redeem Cyclops, give him a redemption arc, give him a 6-issue series of just Cyclops. He's just like, I'm done, I'm leaving. He goes back to Alaska where he was from. He's like, all my life, since I was a kid, I was in an orphanage, and then I was, when I was a real small kid, I was in Alaska flying around with my parents. That got taken away. Now I'm in an orphanage. Now my powers show up. Now I'm at the Xavier School. And then I fall in love with Marvel Girl, and then I fall in love with Emma Frost, and then he's like, I've been manipulated by telepaths my whole life. So this is my story with Cyclops. Is he goes to Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange puts the amulet on him, and Doctor Strange goes, Doctor Strange is a doctor, and he says, I've never seen anybody with so much psychic scarring than you. His whole life, every person that's ever been a major deal in Cyclops' life has been a telepath, a mind controller, a mind reader. From Emma Gray to Emma Frost, Jean Grey, Cyclops. So now he's like, I got to get away. And he goes to Alaska, and he has superhero adventures. He's in Alaska. He starts flying again. He works for somebody else. Maybe he finds that Forrester, who was my favorite girlfriend and works on the ship, and he's just a normal guy. And now, he's in the airplane. So now there's like whatever ghost MI MiGs from the Soviet Union, and he's having superhero adventures, and he clears his head, and he comes back to the X-Men, and he's just like, I'm done with this. You guys, I got rid of the scars. I've healed, and he's awesome again. And he's the old Cyclops, and you know what I mean, and fixes himself up, and just like everything about I got manipulated by Madeline Pryor, and he just comes to this realization that he hasn't had like agency since like 1974 real time. I don't know. I just like that character. I feel he needs.
Yeah, that would be cool.
John, I like everything that you said, John. I 1000% like everything you said. The only problem, John, everyone at Marvel Comics writing now, they are man-hating feminists, and they would never write that.
Right. That's why I said when I take over Marvel Comics.
Oh, right, yeah.
When I take over,
even the men are man-hating communists.
Yeah. I think about this
seriously.
But that's what I would do. That's my one. Like if I was to write for DC, I would want Captain Marvel Shazam and do a big Captain Marvel Shazam story, and then if I was to write for Marvel, I want to fix Cyclops.
If I ran DC, I'd cancel the terrible absolute comics that have nothing to do with the real characters.
I don't think. I mean, I don't like the absolute characters, but we can't cancel them. It's the only thing selling it. It's the only thing.
Then I just closed the damn thing down because it shouldn't be doing it.
It
has all the wrong things about heroism.
Right.
Every single one of that I've read about. And it's not just this one now, this new one that is all the absolute Superman, absolute Batman, it's absolute Wonder Woman. It's all terrible stuff. And if you just look on X, the people reading it are all nuts. They're all basically terrorists.
Yeah.
You can't even talk to them.
John Marcus, what do you think of that Superman, that drawing of Batman murdering the ICE agent?
I think that the CIA ought to visit Daniel Warren Johnson and have a little talk with him, or the Secret Service. What the hell is he doing?
That was crazy.
I will never buy something from that artist again. And anybody who likes it, I will think less of them, and that includes the people that it's just really good cartooning. I don't care. You just don't do that. It's Batman, for God's sake. What is the matter with you?
Right.
You have a goddamn screw loose.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was trying to
go on at DC Comics. I don't understand. I don't read DC Comics, but when I see pictures and I see panels and I see images, the artwork, it seems like it's some sort of deconstructionist early 90s avant-garde, just crazy, heavily stylized. What is going on at DC Comics?
The only one who could draw is Dan Mora.
Everyone keeps telling me Absolute Wonder Woman's great. I'm never going to read it, but everyone's like, it's great.
Yeah.
But we always complain that the writers don't understand heroism, but the readers of comics don't understand heroism either. I think the readers of mainstream comics, because it feels like the readers just have purple hair and on TikTok and have nose rings. Who reads these anymore? I mean, watch Thinking Critical. That poor dude reads them for us, and he's tortured.
Yeah, but doesn't Zach say comics are good again now?
It doesn't. I don't listen to Zach. Zach insane. He's insane if he says that. Insane. We could disagree about different people, but we agree about Zach. That's for sure.
That's who the comics are for, though. The people reading these comics, they did not grow up on Fantastic Four and Secret Wars and Crisis on Infinite Earth and Jim Shooter and Kirby and Claremont and John Byrne.
No, that's true. That's true. But we don't blame them. But it's their parents' fault. My kids didn't end up like these people. Are you kidding me?
But these people have septum rings with green hair and half of their head shaved. For them, it's about their anxiety and living their truth and their LGBT, ABCD, LMNOP. It's all about social ideology. It has nothing to do with heroism and
No,
masculinity
you're
and
right.
family. None of those things. It's
You're
about
right.
their social ideology. They have totally hijacked the things that we love to push their social ideology. They don't care about the things that we love. They don't care about the things that were built, because if they did, we never would have gotten Miles Morales. We never would have gotten Bobby Drake becoming gay, and we sure as hell would not have got Nightcrawler being born out of, you know what? I don't want to say it.
Well,
I'm done.
Miles Morales was the whole DEI thing was a disguise. Miles Morales was created because the Ditko estate was suing, so they hedged their bets. If Ditko estate wins, we could still have a Spider-Man, Miles Morales Spider-Man, and then you could have. So I think they purposely made Peter Parker goofy to devalue the character, to make people like this Miles Morales, and then whatever happened with that case, there's no need to. But then they use the argument, oh, we're going to make him black, so then we could shield ourselves. But that was a complete. A
lot of the changes in the comics that we all like, when Thor got a new costume and Captain America became the captain, are all because they were about to be sued by the Kirby estate.
Right.
And you see all the changes, or Spider-Man gets a black costume, and we're like, oh, this is great and creative. No, it's an edict saying we got to do this, and then it depends on who's doing it. And in the Miles Morales case and the Captain Marvel case, they decided this is a good way to screw in the DEI as well, all at the same time. Two birds with one stone.
It'll shield us from. So yeah, but I first of all, I don't like when they just make other characters, but I agree. These people, it's the same thing. New Yorker, a bunch of foreigners came to New York, and then voted somebody to become the mayor who has no love of America, New York, no concept of the American way, and they're using our tolerance against us. The same thing with comics. We're getting new people, a new fan base that doesn't have a love of and it's kind of mean to say. I sound like an old, a gamer's term, a grognard. You kids aren't playing your games the right way, but it's like these people don't. Like, they love Emma Frost. They don't know that she's a horrible, horrible human being, that she's a sex trafficker. She's a disgusting, she's supposed to be a bad person.
But she's hot, John. That's what they're marketing her on. She's hot. Hell, that's how I met her. I was like, who's that hot blonde chick in the stockings? Then later on, I read the stories and I realized what she was.
Right. And when I tell people that she's a horrible character.
Horrible. Yeah, I completely agree with you there.
She's the Ghislaine Maxwell of comic books. And, they don't know that. So
which is kind of fine. If she's a villain, she can be the villain. We're going to fight her. Right. And she's a bad person. And she was in on they were trafficking Jean Grey all those years ago.
And if you read that comic and you read it with the sophistication, they did some horrible stuff to Jean Grey, and they made Jean Grey do horrible stuff to other people. A couple of people have busted my chops about my character in Heroic Tales 1. Like, dude, it's a villain. This is a villain. Villains do villainous things. Like, I don't know about you, but my villains don't just like stick girls' hairs in the inkwell. You know what I mean? And overturn ashtrays. They're villains. They do horrible, villainous things.
So Sebastian Shaw is one of my favorite characters in all of Marvel Comics.
Yeah,
and he's a bad Sebastian Shaw. But he's a bad guy. He's evil. He is a villain. He will always only ever be a villain. I can never ever say he has empathy or he's a really cool. I mean, he's a cool character, but he's an evil villain. Just like with Emma Frost. Yeah, she's hot. She's attractive. The whole thing, great. But she's a villain. She's pure evil. She is not a feminist icon. She is not a girl boss. She's not someone who has a redemption arc. She's evil, and she should only ever be evil.
She's an opportunist. If she's hanging out with the X-Men, it's because I was going to get caught, or this is just another way to get power. You know what I mean? That's what she is. Right. Dr. Doom is another one. Dr. Doom is faking being good. He's not good. if Dr. Doom is the ultimate good guy right now, he's proving to everybody I could do what you guys do better because I'm the best. It's all about me. Dr. Doom is my favorite villain of all time, and he's a villain. Magneto is supposed to be zealotry gone nuts. You know what I mean? He's a bad guy. He at one point he had good ideas, and he still might have good ideas, but you know what I mean? But he's a zealot terrorist, and that's what makes him a great character.
Yeah,
he freaking dresses like the devil. He's got a red outfit with horns on him. You know what I mean? The only thing he's missing is the pitchfork.
I never liked the whole reconciliation, and now Magneto is running Xavier's school, and
that's
no.
Yeah, that's when I said I'm done with the X-Men. That the X-Men deserve every second of persecution they get.
How about when he tried to tame Sabretooth? That was a bad idea.
Yeah. But anyway, at this point, what should we do next week? And then we'll close it down. We've been talking
about villains.
Top 5 villains?
Yeah. Well, you should probably separate by Marvel and DC, just because there's a huge range, right?
You could do top 5 Marvel villains, top 5 DC villains.
Sure.
Because
top 5 independent, top 5 independent comic villains.
How about to make it clobbering time? We'll make 3 teams, and we'll now whoever shows up, we'll pick. If right now we got 5 people, so we'll do this. So we'll all pick one villain from DC, and then we'll all pick one villain from Marvel, and then we'll all pick one independent villain, and then we'll do a clobbering time on who wins that fight.
Okay,
sounds good.
I mean, if you take a Galactus, you're gonna win. So just take like that.
Well, let's see. We can say Galactus isn't a villain either.
But you know what I mean. If you get a munchkin it, you could munchkin it. You know what I mean? Like
does it need to be who would win in a fight or who's a better character?
That's what we always do.
Perhaps that might be more interesting.
Even when we did Batman versus Spider-Man, we always talked about who's a better character, who had better villains, who had better stories, and then we did the fight. So we'll get back to old school. It's clobber time. Good point. Are there any in Marvel comics? That's a good question. That's a good question. That's for philosophers to decide. But anyway, we'll go in backwards order. So we'll start with RRNT. Anything you want to say before we sign off?
Yes, apparently John is making a comic of some kind, and I think you should all check it out. It has something special tales or amazing heroic tales. That's the one.
I think he made the comic.
And all of you. Oh, that's right. So, John, how can we order these?
You can go to Fund My Comic, right here. I'll bring it up.
Hold on, I'll see. I'm sorry. Whenever I'm on, I forget.
I'm always so bad at promoting myself, but my comic is still available on Fund My Comic. Here is the link. I'll put the link in the chat, and it's still available. I ordered plenty more than I need to.
It looks like Alan Moore there.
Yeah. We forget how long my beard, pre-accident, my beard was, so we could still get heroic tales. The A cover is the most plentiful. The B cover is the second most. That's the Josh Howard cover, and then the C cover, the cosplay cover. There's only like 47 available on the earth, and I'm never reprinting that. So that is legit going to be the hard one to find. But yep, I hit my. I tell myself $6,000 to make the next comic, because the way I do things, whatever I collect for this campaign goes to the next campaign. I do it backwards than everybody else. So issue 3, well, actually the next one is Patriarch number 1 will be made. And if Patriarch number 1 does well, Heroic Tales 3 will be made. Heroic Tales 3 is already written. Renzo is already working on Patriarch number 1. He says he'll be done with it early next year. So I don't know if that means January, February, March. So I might even be done before the campaign, and I have a super secret project that might even squeak it before Patriarch number 1. So let's see that. So there we go. But you took all my wind out of my sails. But anything you want to say about yourself?
No, just thanks to the chat for being here. Lovely to talk to you guys. Thanks for having me on, John. And
Thank-
all the best. Live long and prosper, everyone.
Logic Finest, anything you want to say? Anything you want to promote?
Well, Crocodile Dundee might be the king of the outback, but he was only inspired by the man who taught him everything he knows, Chuck Norris.
Yep, there you go. Lame Chuck Norris jokes because it's 1993. All right, Tony Grigo, anything you want to say?
Buy Heroic Tales, everyone. That's it.
Thank you. And green chili.
Enjoy the green chili, John.
And Marcus, anything you want to say?
Yeah, buy Heroic Tales. I might as well say that. Everybody else, why not? It'll fund enough comics so that eventually I'll be able to get published.
Yeah, I'm
You gotta
hoping
keep
for
funding
your
it. If I get published, everything ends. It's okay, but let's get me published. No, I'm kidding.
I'm
On the
hoping.
studio tomorrow,
Okay.
Frederick Guillemot of Rattel, the Bitcoin superhero, is going to be on, and he's a weirdo, so that ought to be fun.
Yeah, I like him.
I like him too. He's a funny guy.
We were talking in private messages. He helped me refine it because I had a character that literally was called Honey Badger, and I'm like, I can't use that anymore.
Well, no, he's Rattel. That's French for honey badger. You could say
Right. That's why we were talking about it. So we went back and forth, and he indirectly gave me an idea that I like better than Honey Badger. So I'm keeping it quiet.
Oh, there you go.
So she will debut in maybe Heroic Tales 5.
I don't know if I'm going to draw Rattel because I just drew the Silver Surfer a couple weeks ago, and it's kind of like surfing guy. I might draw the Black Medusa. He's got a couple other characters.
Cool.
Well, I want to do something. I always want to do something different.
Yeah.
So
I like him.
So
you'll be on the studio. So you'll be on the studio tomorrow,
7 p.m. on Don Draw's channel.
Yeah, Don draws stuff, right?
If Don lasts that long, as we know, Don's got issues. So there you go.
And I got Heroic Tales. I'll be shipping all weekend. Tomorrow. I gotta stay up. I was gonna go to bed, but I gotta release the digital files. So there we go. So I gotta do that, and then see you guys Sunday. I think we're gonna do X-Men 110 for Sunday Comics, and I don't know what I have.
110's the fill-in issue, right?
I don't remember. That's the Warbird one, right?
I think so. One of them, 110 or one of them's a fill-in issue to get them the monthly.
Yeah, what 110 is the Carnival story because 111 is the Savage Land. I think. I don't know. I'll see. I'm too sleepy.
I'll check. I can't remember it offhand. I can look it up, but don't worry about it now.
Great stories.
But I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.